everybody, and welcome to 2024. Oh my goodness, it has been so burry here. We've had 2 degrees, 9 degrees. Today it's 18. And yes, I know all of you guys up north think we're wussies down here. Yes, we are. We are wusses when it comes to those kind of temperatures. Anyway, but since it's so chilly, we're going to start on a new project this year, and it is a corn bead necklace. It's native. Many tribes have their versions of this. Some are called ghost bead necklaces, but ours is a corn bead necklace, specifically Cherokee corn bead necklace. It commemorates the Trail of Tears. So I'm excited to show you guys how to do this. It is not a difficult project, but the history behind it is so rich and meaningful. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to get started here. I'm going to show you everything you need first to complete this style of necklace. And then I will show you how to use some of these things. So anyway, this is a traditional corn bead necklace done in Cherokee colors, red, white, blue, and black. And then this one right here is random colors. I had been doing some for gifts for people, and these were a couple that I completed that I decided to put in the store. So anyway, that's the completed look. You will need at least a minimum of 3 colors of 6.0 seed beads. You can use 8.0 as well. They're smaller, but 6.0 is the size that I like, simply because it hangs better and looks a little thicker. So those are seed beads, 6.0 seed beads. Minimum of 3 colors. The seed beads that I love to use are these right here. These are the ones that I usually buy because they're just so accurate. It's almost like Czech cut, Czechoslovakian cut, but those are the ones I use. Okay, the next thing you will need are the actual corn beads. They are also called Jacob's Tears. They do come in colors. And if you'll notice, these little guys, they're actual seeds. See the little hole there and the little hole there on the bottom? That's how you're going to string it. And the tweezers here that I have, this is to pull out any stems that might be sticking out of the little seeds here. Let me see. That one has a little bit of a stem in it right there. You can see that. You'll pull that out with a pair of tweezers. It just makes it easier to string. These, the corn beads, I think I said it earlier, they're also known as Jacob's Tears. You can get them like that as well. Okay, then the next thing you will need is the big eye needle. This right here, if you are stringing small beads, oh my gosh, this thing right here is a jewel because it's easy to thread. The whole entire needle is a needle eye almost. I'll open one of those up in just a minute and show you how it works. You'll need some of that. You will need a little tiny clip to put on one end so your beads don't all slide off. A little clip of some kind. And you'll need some gel super glue to put a dot on the end of your tie off so that it doesn't come untied. All right, and then the thread that I use right here is Coats & Clark. It's upholstery thread. And the reason why I use upholstery thread versus regular thread is because it is stronger. It takes a long time for it to break or wear. So you want Coats & Clark upholstery thread or some kind of upholstery thread. Here's the other end of it right here. so you can see that. It's nylon. I traditionally keep black and brown, and sometimes I might have a lighter color like a real maybe a white or an ivory color, depending on what kind of beads I'm using. But most of the time, I use the brown or the black. Okay, so those are the things you're going to need right there. That's everything. And okay, let me get my camera set and we will get started. Okay, so we are set up here. I measured off about, 48 inches of thread. And the reason why I did that is so that you'll have enough to string back through the necklace on both sides. It's kind of like a little reinforcement. So measure off about 48 inches of thread. Then you are going to leave, I'd say, maybe almost 12 inches on one end, and put your little clamp on it right there. That's to hold the beads on when you start stringing. Okay. The big eye needle here, I was telling you about, this little guy right here is going to save you a world of stuff. If you'll notice right here, it opens up. I don't know if you can see that or not on there, but it opens up into a big hole, and I love it. So you take your end of your thread and you are going to push it through there like that. Trying to do this for camera is very difficult. Anyway, push it through, pull it down some, about like that, and then pull it down to secure it like that. All right, then you're ready to bead. So the first thing we're going to start with is a corn bead. And these are mixed in colors, which is fine. You can mix them if you would like, or you can do all one color if you would like. I might do the gray ones, the dark gray ones. Let me do it that way. And I'm checking this little inside right here to see if anything needs to be pulled out. That one's okay. And this one, I'm looking here, trying to find one that'll pull out just so you can see it. But nothing there. If I run across one, I will let you know. Okay, so what we're going to do first is you're going to string that on there like that. Push it through that little hole on the bottom of the seed. You want to go to the bottom of the seed, because if you try to go back through this way, it's a lot more difficult. So you want to go through the bottom. Oh, and look at that. When I stuck my needle through, look what popped out. Right there. See? I took the inside out. All right, so you're going to string that all the way down to the end where you put your little clamp, like so. Then you're going to start beading. For me personally, I always start with black on either side of the bead here. I always flank the bead itself with black. That is not a hard, fast rule. I just like the way that it makes the bead look. It enhances the bead. You can do it any color you want to. That's just my personal preference. Okay, so we're going to start with a black. And I think I'm going to do a bronze color. Then I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 let's see how, I usually do 5s or 7s when it comes to the main color part of the bead, sorry, of the necklace. Like this one right here, I did in 7s right here, the red part, I did in 7s. So I usually do 5s or 7s on those right there, just so you can see that. And I think I will do 7 here. Then I'm going to do another bronze. I'm going to do a copper and another bronze to make the center. You can see the pattern is appearing. Then you're going to do 7 more of the main color. 4, 5, 6, 7. A bronze and a black. There's your whole pattern right there. That is the pattern. So it's beautiful, isn't it? Isn't that a beautiful? I love the browns and blacks with the turquoise color. So there's your main pattern. And then what you'll do next is you're just going to repeat the pattern. So remember, you're going through the bottom part of the seed, push it up through, come on down, then start your pattern. Bronze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Another bronze, a copper, and another bronze. Pull them on down like that. Another 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, get on there. All right, a bronze and a black. Pull it all down, all the way down, and then you're going to start your pattern again. You can see it, how it's coming together. Don't you love the way this is doing right here? I love it. Makes the bead stand out. The bronze makes the turquoise stand out, and I am loving this color. So let's do another one. And let's see. Start in the bottom. Oops, he doesn't want to go through. There he goes. Pull it through. And then start your pattern. The middle pattern, bronze, copper, bronze, the 7 turquoise, bronze, and black. And your hands, if for some reason you're having trouble using the needle, it's a matter of practice. Practice, practice, practice. If you've done it as many years as I have, you could probably do it in your sleep. But anyway, it's just a matter of practice and seeing how your hands work, because everybody's hands work differently, and you know, everybody's coordination is different. Make sure I counted 7. Yep. I'm going to do a bronze, a copper, and a bronze. All right. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then your bronze and your black. Okay. All right, so what I am going to do is I am going to continue to bead on until I get almost to the end, and then I will get back with you. Hopefully you are doing well too with yours. 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll do one more here while I'm about to shift. Bronze. I'm surprised my fingers are working at all as cold as it's been. Oh my goodness. 7. All right. Okay, instead of you sitting here watching me do this, I'm going to finish it and I will be back in just a few minutes. Okay, so I'm back. I've strung the majority of what's left to do. What I'm going to do now is pull the necklace taut so all the beads will come down evenly, and then I'm going to make sure that they are evened up here on the end with even amounts of thread. And then I usually do these 18 inches long, which would be a 36-inch necklace. So I'm going to measure here to make sure that I have 18 inches. And I need a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to string a little bit more to make it 18 inches. If you've strung too much, just take one section out. That's all you have to do. If you don't have enough, just add a section. Now, I am sure you're wondering what this little red bead is for. I'll tell you that in a minute. Yes, that was my cat that you heard. That was Spit. Anyway, I thought I'd tell you why I use 7s and 5s. I meant to tell you earlier. The 7s represent completeness, and the 5s represent grace, or it could represent the 5 tribes that were removed on the trail. But anyway around, they're both very significant numbers, and those are some of the reasons why I use them. Okay, the red bead I am getting ready to add in this last run or two that I'm about to do, and I'm going to tell you what that is for when I finish. So let me add another corn bead and string one more section, and then we'll see what happens there. Okay, so I'm going to do this last thread through here. Let me get this in here, and oh, look what popped out. See that little stem? I don't know if you can see it for the color of the leather, but I'm going to try to pull this out so you can see what I'm talking about. Give me a second. Ah, there it is. Okay, see the little stem? We pulled it out, and now the needle goes through much, much easier. It doesn't get stuck. Okay, so now we're going to do our last pattern, and I'm going to string and add the red bead. Here we go. Black, bronze, 7 of the turquoise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now I'm going to add 1 bronze, then the red instead of the copper, and then another bronze. All right, so we are not adding a bead, we are substituting a bead, and that's your odd bead out. Then we're going to finish the pattern. Get my 7 on here, and a bronze, and a black, and that will complete the whole sequence, which will be a 36-inch necklace when it's complete. And I'm just kind of pulling some of the looseness out so we don't have a lot of gaps between the beads. And I'm going to take my clip off because I'm going to use both ends now of thread. And then I'm going to take the thread and make them even at the top. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm making it even at the top. And then what I'm going to do is move the beads around to fill in the gap so that they're even at the top when I get ready to tie them off. I don't have too much thread on one side versus not enough thread on the other side when I tie them together. Let me move all this out of the way here for a second. Give me just a little more space to work. Okay. So now you can see I'm pulling I'm pulling out the gaps, so to speak, with it between the beads, and I'm evening up the beads at the top where I'm going to tie them off. There's my odd bead, and you can do that pattern anywhere in the sequence. But the reason why that's there is for the person who is making the beadwork and the person receiving the beadwork. It represents the only perfect thing in the universe, which is the Creator. And it's a reminder for all of us that the Creator is the only perfect thing. So a lot of times beadwork will intentionally have an odd bead in there. It's not because they ran out of beads. It's because they're making a statement. So it's such a beautiful story. And I do try to do this as much as I can, remember to do it in most of my beadwork that I do. Okay, so we're getting ready to tie these ends off. And again, try not to have too much looseness in the beads because you don't want gaps where the thread is showing. That's not what you want. But try to make it taut enough that you don't have gaps between the beads. So let me make sure that I don't. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to tie just your basic overhanded knot, like you tie a knot to hold something together. So let me loop these. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. But I'm going to loop, there's one loop, pull it taut, loop it again, and that is your complete knot. I'm going to do one or two more. Generally, I do 3. There's one loop, and there's the second loop. That's the second knot. I'm going to do one more. Just your basic overhand. There it is. And the last one will give me 3 knots total. They're pulled taut. Okay, now if you'll notice, the threads are kind of going one way or another. So once you tie your knot off, one thread generally will go one way and one will go the other way. And so what you're going to do is take your needle and you're going to thread each thread back through the beads going the direction that the thread is pointing. So one piece of thread will be going back through the seed beads one way, and then the other piece of thread will be going back through the seed beads going the other way. So let me get the needle open here and rethread it. You only need about 1 inch at the end on this one because you want the majority of the thread to go back through the beads and through the seeds, and it's for added protection and strength. So let's go this direction. This thread was pointing this way, so we're going to work it back through. And you can see I'm pulling it here. And then we're going to continue to work back through all of these little seed beads right here. And this part is fairly easy to do because the holes are large enough that you're not going to struggle much. It's fairly easy with 8.0s too. I've got enough to do another run on this, so I'm going to do this section. Let's keep going. Oh, that one came out a little early, but that's okay. If you need to move the thread down just a little bit to make sure you have enough that you can pull it through, that's okay. Pull that one through, and I've got enough to go through this last seed. So I'm going to pull it through, pull it tight, and then I'm going to take it out of the needle and clip it right next to that little, right there. Okay, take out that excess, throw it away. And now we're back at where the other piece of thread is. It's going to go back through that way, the opposite direction. Now your knot's right here, and sometimes those little knots can get lost or you'll forget where they are and they're hard to find. So I'm going to take this little clip and I'm going to gently clip it onto a bead right next to the seed. That way I know where the knot is when I come back to put my glue on. So let me rethread here real quick. I only need about a little inch or so down at the end. Okay, now you're going to be going the opposite direction through the seeds, so it might be a little more difficult this time than the last time, because the last time you threaded through the bottom of the seed. This time you're going to be threading through the top of the seed, and it's a little bit more difficult to do, especially if there's any kind of twig still left in there. So this one is going to give me a little trouble, I can tell. Let me keep working with it, but just gently continue to pry, just gently. If for some reason it doesn't go through, go to the bottom of the seed and punch another hole in the bottom. Just kind of gently put your needle in the bottom right here. There you go. And then try again, and it should go through, and there it is. So apparently there was still enough twig in there to stop my needle, so I had to kind of ream it out, so to speak, from the bottom, and then it went through. So we'll continue on. Almost done. And hopefully I got enough to do one more section. So I'm going to do that one. Hopefully this little bead's not going to give me any trouble. Come on, needle, go through there. There it goes. Okay, so we're going to do this one last section. I've got enough thread to make it through. I'm going to move it down just a hair there so I don't have to pull as much through. Last thing right here. So I'm unhooking my needle, cutting off that excess. Bam. All right. There we go. You've gotten everything threaded, everything's knotted off, so we're back up here where the clip is. So the next thing we're going to do is take the clip off. We're going to get our super glue. You can also use a jeweler's glue if you have that. You're only going to need a dot, maybe 2 dots, one on each side of your knot. Do not get liquid super glue, get gel gel, gel, gel. Otherwise, it'll be going everywhere. So I'm going to glue this side, and I will put just a dot right there on that side. Let me put this up real quick. Okay, you're going to rub it together, the seed bead onto the seed, press it, blow it. Blow it. I'm going to let it sit here for just a minute. I'm going to blow on it on and off because you want it to dry as quickly as possible, and gel glue doesn't dry quite as fast, but so blowing it helps. Let me move all this out of the way. I'm going to blow it again here. Okay, so you got it. Then you're going to take the necklace and put it on your index finger or your second finger and on each hand and twist. Like that. You can see it's twisted. All right. And then you're going to reverse it and twist it going the other way. And what you're doing is you're kind of evening out the necklace and the beads and getting them all kind of even and level where it's going to hang straight. Then undo the twisting and you are done. And there you go. You have just finished a corn bead necklace, or for the tribes removed on the Trail of Tears, it's a tear bead necklace. I have enjoyed this today. Hope you have enjoyed this today. And just continue to bead on and learn the stories. Okay, we will see you guys on the next project. Bye, y'all.